And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. James out west, September 23rd, 2020. We are here to break down week 2 and week 3 of the NFL. We saw a lot of great things last week. We'll get into the picks, how well I did, a couple ones that I shanked out of the park. That's okay, because on Thursday night, the Cleveland Brownies got a home victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody all up Joe Burrow. Oh, he's so good. He threw the ball 60 times for 300 and some change. So at 30 throws, which is a normal game, he'd had a $150. Get off his jock. Let's move on. All right, so I missed a few kind of bad, but that's okay. My interesting situation is we had San Francisco at the New York Jets. And what happened? San Francisco won by more than 7, so they rolled on through. The problem with the San Francisco 49ers is they damn lost everybody. Jimmy G, gone for a little bit. Nick Bosa, gone. Solomon Thomas, gone. George Kittle says, I might not play because of the situation of the field at the Meadowlands. We'll get into that later. Buffalo at Miami. Miami plus 5.5. Buffalo went in there and smoked them. Jared Allen getting 417 yards, 4 touchdowns on a bad Miami defense. Let's move on. The Denver Broncos brought me some hope. I thought they were going to pull off whooping on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it didn't happen. The Steelers ended up pulling it out late in the game. Denver made a nice run. I was impressed with it. But now that they're out and they just signed Blake, let me bum a cigarette Bortles, they done, baby. They done. All right, let's move on. Atlanta at Dallas. Well, we all know what happened there. They forgot the damn rules of the game. It was an onside kick, and they watched the ball spin. See ball, get ball. What we doing, baby? See ball, get ball. They watched that ball roll right into an L. It was incredible. It was incredible. I was very happy with that. And I'm not a Dallas fan, but I was very happy with that. Although Dallas lost some key things as well in that game that might come back to bite them in the next couple weeks. We'll see. Like we're speaking, the G-Men taking on the Chicago Bears. They lost Saquon Barkley for the year. They might be picking first in the draft this year. And they have Danny Dimes, but they go get them some Trevor Lawrence? Or do the Jets end up sucking? Which New York team is going to end up not winning a game and getting Trevor Lawrence? They already have their quarterback of the future, quote unquote. So that will be interesting. You know that's going to get played out on Fox Sports and ESPN. Adam Schefter, my sources say, they're going to get it on. I can't wait to see what happens amongst that. Let's move on. Now, Jacksonville at Tennessee. I thought that number was a little big for Tennessee, -9. And guess what? I was right. Jacksonville did not win the game. They had a chance. Gardner Minshew was 47 seconds away. The stash was 47 seconds away from giving Tennessee their loss. But like Jacksonville does in Jacksonville fashion, they jack it up at the end of the game, throws a mistake, a clear mistake of an interception, which otherwise would have been a beautiful game from Minshew. And Tennessee ends up holding on to the game, but Jacksonville did cover. Now, Detroit at Green Bay. We knew it was -6. I called it immediately. We knew Green Bay was going to cover. Green Bay boat raced the Lions, which is what everybody's going to do this year. Petty Rogers is on a historic pace. 35 points game 1, 42 points game 2. They play New Orleans in New Orleans this week. A battered New Orleans Saints team, which we'll talk about later. Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, again, a high number of -9. But I did say Tampa Bay would cover, and they did. But the two big things in that game. Losing Christian McCaffrey, 4 to 6 weeks, you fantasy players. I have him in 2 leagues. I'm devastated. I'm sure he's a little bit more devastated than I am, but by a little bit. 4 to 6 weeks. And Tampa Bay has 3 of the best tight ends in the league. Bruce Arians says, forget about them. We don't care about no stinking tight ends. We throw the ball to receivers. A wide receiver to receive the ball. A tight end is to block. Gronk didn't catch a pass, baby. Sorry, baby, you didn't catch a pass. BA does not. He gives 0. He gives 0. All right, let's move on. Rams at Philly. Well, I took the Rams. Philly was +1. We knew Rams straight up was going to win this game. Philly's O-line was trash. We talked about that. Continued on. Aaron Donald, man-child. Minnesota at Indy. Man, I took Minnesota in this game. I figured -3, under 48.5. Indianapolis Colts lose their running back in week 2. What's going to happen? They came out there and smacked Minnesota in the mouth. And if that's what Minnesota's going to look like this year, unfortunately, and I like Zimmer, he'll get the pass this year because of what's going on, but they need to figure that out. Washington football team at the Arizona Cardinals. So first off, I am blown away by the Arizona Cardinals and what they are doing. The offense that Cliff Kingsbury's put together with K1, Kyler Murray, with D-Hop, Fitzy doing the things he needs to do, the running game being on point, defense going after people. This team is dangerous. K1 cannot win the MVP if Russ Wilson keeps playing the way he's playing. It's going to be Russ's day. But he can get them into the playoffs. He can give them and probably a playoff victory. That defense is opportunistic. That offensive line is mean. And this quarterback knows what to do and when to do. I'm very impressed with Kyler Murray. I will take back everything I've ever said about Shortbread. Everything I've ever said. He is a legit football player in this league, and I'm going to be excited to watch him for the next couple of years for sure. With that being said, they were -6.5 favorites. We took that. We took the over. We knew this was going to happen. This week will be interesting to see what happens with them. I still think they come out with the victory, but we'll move on. Baltimore at Houston. Houston's a dumpster fire right now. They traded D-Hop for a bag of balls. They ended up getting David Johnson. David Johnson put up 34 yards rushing last week, dog. 34 yards. That's not going to get you victories. Baltimore knew that. Baltimore rolled right up in there and took care of business like they do. I'm not going to give them any props, though. They are a very good team, but we're not talking about them. Let's move on. The Sunday night game was a game for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. The New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, going into a empty 12-man. Empty, but it didn't matter. Seattle did just enough. Russ playing at an all-time level. As much as I can't stand Mr. Unlimited, he is balling out. He is balling out. How about old boy DK Metcalf? Big man. He abused Stephen Gilmore. Abused Gilly. That was interesting. But you know what? It came down to what? Bill Belichick having the ball at the 1-yard line. They decided to run the same play they've ran that was successful. The last, 6 times they ran it in that game. If it works, he's a genius. If it doesn't, hey, what'd he say? It was the best play to run. I'm not going to worry about it. Move on. That game right there showed me a lot about what I thought was going to happen in New England. They're not going to fall off that much. They may not win a Super Bowl, but you're going to see their ass in the playoffs. Now, that Monday night game with the Las Vegas Raiders. They were +6 at home against New Orleans without Michael Thomas. Talk about the disrespect. I took New Orleans anyways. I thought it'd be a big Alvin Kamara game, which it was. But I said it would be a big Taysom Hill game, which it wasn't. I took the under of 51.5, and I don't think I got it. So that game ended up biting me in the ass, but that's okay. Because overall for the week, I got 13 games right straight across the board, so I only missed a few. 9 against the spread, and if you were playing along with any of the 3-team parlays that I put out on Twitter, you probably made a little bit of money. If you're in a state that allows you to do so, I live in Arizona, we're not allowed to, so this is all funny money to me. Let's move on to week 3, because that's what we're on right now. We got game tomorrow. We do have the Beard, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the hero of Highland High School in Gilbert, Arizona, which is about 400 feet this way behind me right here. The pride of Harvard going against Minshew Mania and the Stash. They've had a nice little banter back and forth. Fitzpatrick dropping I just think beards are cooler. And Minshew dropping I always will respect my elders, especially because he's very much my elder. It's very nice to see. I don't think it happens for Miami, though. Jacksonville, -3. They almost beat Tennessee last week. Miami allowed over 400 yards to Josh Allen. I think Minshew Mania continues. Jacksonville, -3, book it. All right, San Francisco at the New York Giants. We kind of hit on this a little bit earlier. Kittle might not play because of the Meadowlands field situation. San Francisco, damn, lost everybody. They're on the road, and they're favored by 4.5. I'm going to take them. I don't think the over happens, but I'm going to take them. I think they do enough. They got a great coaching staff. Joe Judge could be good down the road. I just don't think he's got it against these boys this week. I think they're going to be devastated knowing that they just lost Saquon. They just signed Devontae Freeman. I just don't see it coming together in a week in which they have the 49ers coming in. That defensive line is missing two of the key elements, but I think they got enough depth to get after Danny Dimes. I think they stopped the run still. At the end of the day, San Francisco's going to come out of this with a win, a much-needed win with these guys being hurt. Let's move on. Now, I don't know if I believe in these Mitchell Trubisky Chicago Bears, but I sure as hell don't believe in the Atlanta Falcons. They are a 3.5-point favorite against Chicago. I'm taking Chicago straight up. And as much as it pains me to see Mitchell Trubisky and the Midway Bears being 3-0, they're going to be 3-0. Now, we're going to move on because there ain't much else to that game. I don't want to give it too much credence. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals at Philly. Philly's banged up, got a couple of guys coming back. Apparently, Cincinnati's shown a lot that they're pretty good. We're going to be better in the future. Whatever. Philly's -6. I'm going to go with the team that won a Super Bowl not that long ago. Same coaching staff. Same values. Offensive line getting a little healthier. I'm going to take the -6. I take the under in that. I'm not quite sure what the under is, but it's probably 42.5. I'm still taking the under. The Las Vegas Raiders are at the New England Patriots. I think the last time they played each other there, I'm sure they played each other since then, but the big game is the Tuck. Raiders on their way to the Super Bowl, stopping this whole freight train from happening. And the NFL screwed them like they do the Raiders. But the Las Vegas Raiders are at New England. New England's -6.5, coming all the way back from Seattle. But guess what? There's no fans in the stands. So this is coach on coach, player on player. And I am taking Bill Belichick. And I am taking Cam Newton. And it's... I'll take the 6.5, but man, it's going to be close because the Raiders are no joke this year, ladies and gentlemen. They have a fire in them. They really do. And like I said last week, as much as I don't like Mark Davis, my big thing with Mark Davis is this. He said if we can't have all fans, then we have no fans. I respect that from a guy who's broke as a joke. I respect it. I don't respect his haircut, but I respect it. I mean, he's got more hair than me, so I guess I respect it at this point. Yes, I would take a Mark Davis haircut. Anyways, let's move on. All right. The Los Angeles Rams are at the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is the real test of the Buffalo Bills. They're a -2.5 favorite. You got L.A. on the road. L.A.'s playing pretty decent football. They're saying, we don't need Todd Gurley. We don't need him, baby. We knew this. We got 3 horses in the stable. And we don't know which ones you're going to get every week. But what you do know is you're going to get a decent game for Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp's going to catch some passes. And Jared Goff's going to look just good enough to be the 15th best quarterback in the NFL. But it's winning them games. But I'm taking the Buffalo Bills this week, ladies and gentlemen. I think they win by 3. They barely cover, but they win. Look, they play defense. They're at home. Josh Allen, if you didn't see him completely pancake Van Noy. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, he stiff-armed and pushed him to the grind. I think he's got this team in the right direction. And he's just got a cannon attached to that arm. He's got a 50 cal just attached to his arm. Because, I mean, he just falling away, throwing down laser beams. And he's got a guy that can run for days and digs. So, I'm taking him. I'm going to buy into the hype of the Buffalo Bills right now, ladies and gentlemen. Bills Mafia represent. All right, now, obviously, my game that I'm going to love to watch and the whole game is going to be the Washington football team at the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't like the fact that they favored him by 7 because that's giving him too much moxie. The Cleveland Browns need to be held down. Should have favored him by 3.5 and made him feel disrespected. Now you might have made these boys feel like they've done shown up. And that's dangerous because that Washington team is no joke. They're not going to win games, but they're going to be in games. That defensive line, full of studs. Studs. Dwayne Haskins, no joke. Terry McLaurin, no joke. That little rookie Antonio Gibson, no joke. They cannot be slept on. They're not going to win a lot of games, but they're going to be in games. So Cleveland's going to be in a dogfight. But I think they cover in the end. I'm taking the under, though, 44.5. Don't let them fool you. It's going to be like 24-17, 24-10. They're not going to reach the 44.5. The big thing with that is look what Chubb did. 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hunt, 10 carries, 86 yards and a touch, and a receiving touch against a defense that gave up a ton of rushing yards in the first 2 weeks of the season. I think that plays well into Cleveland's hand, and they're going to be 2-1 for the first time in a long time. And that's me taking my Cleveland Browns hat off. I'm not even wearing it today. I'm wearing a Cleveland Indians hat because they happened to clinch last night, get into the playoffs on a walk-off home run from Jose Ramirez on what he would call a home run pitch, man. Because any home run that he hits is a home run pitch, man. All right, let's move on. Houston at Pittsburgh. As much as I hate to take the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're minus 3.5, and I don't see Houston doing anything with them. Pittsburgh's got probably the best defense in the league. Ben Roethlisberger looks like the old Ben for now. I think by week 10, that arm falls off. He old. The over 45 take it. Houston's 0-2, going to be 0-3. Is Billy O'Stooge going to be finally out of there? Probably not. He's running the whole team. He can't fire himself. Maybe his coaching is that bad that he will fire himself. Wouldn't that be crazy if a GM who's also the head coach fired himself and then remained as the GM? I don't think that's ever happened. That's some Cleveland shit right there, though. That was some stuff that would happen in Cleveland, but we haven't had that happen yet. Maybe that'll happen in Houston. I'm taking the over 45. Pitt's defense, what they do to quarterbacks, their run game, I don't see Houston standing a chance in this game. They look lost on offense. J.J. Watt can only do so much. It's the Watt Bowl. TJ is going to get the best of it. I'm sure they'll swap jerseys, not after the game. That'll be in league violation. I'm sure they'll send them to their mom and dad, and they'll have to exchange them at Thanksgiving. Tennessee at Minnesota, man. This is a make-or-break game for Minnesota. They're at home, and they're underdogs by 2.5 points, man. That is ultimate disrespect. I'm going to take Minnesota, though. Tennessee almost got beat by Jacksonville, so either Jacksonville is for real, which I don't believe, because they may not win another game this year, but I damn sure don't think Tennessee's the same. I didn't give them respect last year because I just didn't believe it, and I'm not going to believe it this year. I'm going with Minnesota. Look, Tennessee gave up 340 yards passing last week to Gardner Minshew. Okay? They allow a lot in the running game. I think Kirk Cousins maybe give them some magic. They need it. I'm taking them. They're the underdog. They win by 1. They lose by 1. They're still the one. I still think they win the game straight out. Now, this is the biggest point spread in the league this week, and this is the New York Jets at the Indianapolis Colts. This is more about the New York Jets and Adam Fugazi versus what Indianapolis is good at right now. Because I think nobody knows what Indianapolis is right now. But a 10.5 point is a big slap in the face to the Jets. And I'm going to take that 10.5. I made this pick right now. I haven't decided. I've been sitting here all day thinking about this game because that's the biggest points there are. And for me, I just cannot see the Jets mustering anything over 10 points. I think Indy's going to muster 21. I think they cover. It's going to be the under. I don't know what the under is. I didn't look because it didn't matter. It's going to be the under. This should be an ugly game, but I don't think a lot of scoring is going to happen. We're going to move on to the Carolina Panthers at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Justin Herbert Los Angeles Chargers because Tyrod Taylor has a punctured lung because Team Doc injected a pain injection a little too far, and they didn't want him playing. They're a 6.5 point favorite. Is that because Carolina doesn't have Christian McCaffrey? It's absolutely why. I'm going to take it. I don't think they cover. Chargers win. They don't cover. They win by 4. Let's move on. The Tampa Bay non-Gronkaneers at the Denver Broncos. Broncos are +6 because they don't have a quarterback. I think they're starting Jeff Driscoll until Blake Bortles figures out the playbook. Maybe he starts. I have no idea. Everything happened on defense. I think the air is out of them. They're not going to have fans in the stands to help rally the troops. Tampa Bay Tom going in there. I think they get the victory. I'm going to take them, obviously, minus the 6. I think they win by 10 or more. Probably one of the better games of the week. And I know some of my friends and family and hopefully fans out there understand this, but the Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks is going to be one hell of a game. Russ is going to get a chance to show us again why he's going to be the MVP this year, barring injury. Seattle's a 4.5 point favorite. Dallas won because Atlanta doesn't know the rules of football in 2020. The hands team they don't know the rules of football. Now, I get maybe they thought it wasn't going to go 10 yards, but see ball, get ball. The other team can't touch the ball. I'm still mad about this because the other team can't touch the ball if it's within 10 yards. Jump on it! Oy. But I don't think Dallas gets that lucky this week. I'm taking Seattle minus the 4.5. I think it's over 55.5. I think it's going to be like a 35-28 game. I think Dallas is going to do enough offensively, but I think Seattle wins. Unfortunately, I think Seattle wins. Now, Detroit at Arizona. This will be quick because Detroit stinks. The Cardinals are -5.5. They're going to win. I don't see them losing this game. I just don't. I think Detroit doesn't have the horses. Now, they do have a horse in the backfield. They do have Adrian Peterson, who is going to get the ball, and who's averaging about 5.9 yards a carry. He's not carrying the ball a lot, but he's carrying enough that he'll make an impact on the game. It'll be nice for him. He was here for a little bit, but easily the Cardinals are going to win this game. It's going to be another Kyler Murray amazing game. D-Hop. Maybe not D-Hop getting what he does. I think they're going to spread the love a little bit. Look for maybe a big Christian Kirk game this week in that slot position, flexing in and out between Larry Fitzgerald. Maybe Fitzy gets one of those throwback games where he's got 10 receptions, 89 yards, and a touch, Who knows? Either way, Arizona's win this game easily. Let's move on to Sunday night. Green Bay, Petty Packer Rodgers at the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints, 3-point favorite in this game. At home, no Michael Thomas. They showed why they struggled Monday night against the Raiders. I'm taking the over 52. Green Bay scored 35 and 42 in the first 2 weeks. I don't think that changes. So I think the over is easy. I'm taking Green Bay in this. I think Green Bay is out for vengeance. I think Aaron Rodgers specifically is out for vengeance. Oh, you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round instead of giving me help? He's going ballistic mode. And that leads me to believe there's probably a showdown between them and Seattle right now. If I was to call who's going to be playing for the Super Bowl right now, it's those two teams right now. There's a lot of season left, but it's those two teams as of right now in the NFC that are just making that push. Tampa Bay hasn't shown me enough yet. All right, now Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs, Patty Mahomes doing Patty Mahomes things, going against the Baltimore Ravens. So this will be the only positive thing I will say about the Ravens. They are one hell of a complete football team. They have great coaching, great front office, genuinely great-hearted people that are players for them. But that does not stop me from hating them. But I'm not picking against them because of that. I'm picking the Super Bowl champs. I'm picking the team that brought everybody back. I'm going to take Pat Mahomes on the road in Baltimore on Monday night, 34-31. They're going to cover because they're the underdog. And I'll take the over 53.5. And the reason I do that is because I think Kansas City is the more it's a coin flip. Absolutely is it a coin flip. But Baltimore doesn't have the home field advantage. There's no fans or little to no fans. I don't think anybody has a home field advantage. I think pumped up in sound is only so much. I think these players are really getting a good look at what football is like when you're looking across the field way back in the day in the 40s and 50s when you didn't have any of that stuff, where you could hear them talk. You had some crowds, but sometimes you didn't. These people played, not a lot of people showed up. It was back in the day when that wasn't America's pastime, where baseball was. I think we're getting a unique look at what football is like. I think we're getting the most access we've ever gotten before from a standpoint of we can't be this for everybody. There's got to be more content involved, more things on TV, more specials, more mic'd up segments, more you get to hear play calling and things like that. The other teams are taking advantage of this. Who's taking advantage of this the most? I'll leave you with this. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, because they always take advantage of everything the most. They have the smartest group in football. And they happened to wait 85 days while Cam Newton was unemployed to give him a $1 million contract. A $1 million contract. You mean tell me there's not other teams that could use a quarterback that couldn't have given him more than that? He's got a thing. Cam Newton said something interesting today, and I have, or maybe yesterday, but I have to give him credit. He goes, quote, "I've made a lot of money. This isn't about money. This is about the things I haven't gotten in football." And he didn't say championship. He said respect. I'm sure the quote went on. He probably led to, a Super Bowl and et cetera, et cetera. But in that small, probably paraphrase of a quote that he gave, you know what it's about. And the fact that Bill's letting him be himself shows you that Bill's willing to change. That's incredible for me because Bill Belichick, if anybody, runs a ship like a military ship. We know this. His dad at West Point Navy, the whole thing. They know what it's like to carry structure. It's been 20-some years. He's been carrying that same structure there. And for him to loosen up the reins to allow Cam to be Cam shows you why he's the greatest coach of all time. That is why Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. Do I despise the New England Patriots? Absolutely. They are the evil empire. But you have to give respect where respect is due. Baltimore Ravens, respect. New England Patriots, respect. Pittsburgh Steelers, I ain't going that far, dog. All right, so this is James out west. Getting one more in. Hopefully, you guys follow along with my picks, see what happens. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Okay? Everybody's in a tense situation in life. You don't know what people are going through. Take a deep breath, smile, open a door. I would say shake a hand, but that's culturally inappropriate at this time. So fist bump, elbow bump, peace, deuces, whatever you got to do. But be kind to one another, everybody. And this is James out west. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.